and welcome to this informative video based on retrieval practice. So, before we begin, do you think you know what retrieval practice is? Have a few seconds to think about this. Now, allow me to explain the definition. Retrieval practice is the act of retrieving the knowledge you learn to help new information access your long-term memory. When you go over a particular area of learning multiple times, you remember all about it and it's easier to process everything. You can also use known knowledge to help make connections, which enhances your learning. There are different stages through which help you retrieve different skills, such as the working memory, also known as the short-term memory, and the long-term memory. We're going to demonstrate what the working memory is and how it processes the knowledge given.
This is the working memory, also known as the short-term memory.
This is the forgotten.
This is mind.
And these balls are the pieces of information going through the mind into the working memory. As you can see, not all the pieces of information are going into the mind. This is because while processing the knowledge, it may be misunderstood.
As you can see, in the working memory, I can only hold 3 to 5 pieces of knowledge at the same time.
In the forgotten, there are 2 pieces of information that has not been processed through the working memory.
Now we will demonstrate the long-term memory. This is the long-term memory. It's limitless and it's the area of your mind that has all the familiarised pieces of information that you remember for a long period of time.
Let's retrieve our times tables. 5 times 5 is 25. 7 times 7 is 49.
7 times 6 is 42.
3 times 3 is 9.
9 times 8 is 72. 12 times 12 is... 144.
Now that goes into the long-term memory since we've retrieved it. Now, let's retrieve some previous facts from our lesson. In 1966, England won the World Cup.
In 1997, Britain gave Hong Kong back to China.
In 1960, the first James Bond film was made.
Oh, I think I've forgotten.
That's alright, that happens sometimes.
Maybe I need to retrieve it more.
In 1920, women were allowed to vote. Oh, I think I've forgotten too.
It's alright. Now that goes into the long-term memory. Forgetting is where it goes through the working memory but cannot be processed because there is too much information going in at once, as the working memory can only hold 3 to 5 pieces of information.
Working memory is the process of learning knowledge, so this may be in a lesson but it doesn't go into the short-term memory yet, as you have the process of forgetting knowledge and retrieving knowledge. Short-term memory. You have retrieved it once or twice, but you might forget the information sometimes, and that's okay.
Here's a quick recap on short-term memory.
So the information goes through the mind where it is hopefully processed and understood properly. Then it'll either go into the short-term memory or the forgotten.
Some of the pieces of information go into the forgotten. This is because it is not processed properly or it is misunderstood.
The best thing to do when thinking about retrieval practice is to think of it like a tree. Throughout the seasons, a tree develops leaves which you are going to compare to knowledge. This tree is going to represent your growth as you retrieve information, as you learn and retrieve new knowledge. But today we are going to break that down with a detailed animation of comparing a tree and its own growth to learning more knowledge as you grow as a person. The process of retrieving knowledge is very simple, but has several steps that need to be completed within the right mindset. The end goal of retrieving is to gain knowledge and eventually the knowledge entering your long-term memory, but there is a few simple steps that need to be completed beforehand. The process. While you start to learn this, the knowledge enters the working memory. Next, you retrieve this information and this knowledge enters the short-term memory. After that, you will retrieve the knowledge more and familiarise yourself with the newly learned information, and after several retrieving sessions of that one piece of knowledge, it will eventually enter your long-term memory. We are going to show you the process of how you retrieve knowledge and also the process of forgetting knowledge plus the short-term and long-term memory. This tree is representing your brain and how it gathers knowledge. Continue to watch the video to see the animation and retrieval practice explanation in further detail. As you can see, when learning a new piece of information, you might not understand it straight away, which is why you can see some knowledge surrounding the tree on the floor. This is symbolising misunderstood information. After you have retrieved the piece of knowledge several times, it will then shortly enter the long-term memory, as it should be permanently embedded in your long-term memory.
Thank you for watching.
We hope this helped you understand retrieval. Let's check your retrieval.
What did you remember?
How much information can your short-term or working memory hold at once?
How many times do you need to learn something until it goes into your long-term memory?
We'll give you a second to think about this. Okay, did you think about it? The answer to my question was 3 to 5 pieces of information.
And for my question, it was several times.